Hi, it's Cindy Morris with the Peoria Public Schools Foundation. Wanted to say hello and tell you what Buzz Chats is all about. So we decided to do this. A few weeks ago, I got invited to be part of a panel of 6 women leaders and really enjoyed the format of a live chat. So we decided we would do it at the Peoria Public Schools Foundation. And, the last 3 months, we've all been homebound and not really out and about in the community. And this would be a great way to connect with people in the community, especially those who care immensely about Peoria Public Schools and the community. So this is our first Buzz Chat, and we're going to have them pretty much weekly on Thursdays at 6:30. And we're excited. Our first guest is Dr. Sharon Desmoulin-Kherat. And a little background on the foundation, if you don't know. We have been in existence since 1992 with an exclusive mission to support Peoria Public Schools. And that is the schools, that's the staff, the families, and most importantly, the students. So we feel very excited to host this live chat. And Dr. Kherat is just joining the studio. So I will bring her in and introduce her. And we have some questions for her. There she is.
Yeah, it worked. Good seeing you, Cindy.
I know Jen is amazing.
She is. I was backstage the entire time, and I'm sorry you couldn't let me in, but
that's okay.
Yes.
Well, we're here, and I was just giving a little background on the Buzz Chats and about the foundation. And I wanted to, tell everyone that you're the first guest. And I wanted to start off by saying that I've been working in the school district for 11 years, with you the last 5, and I have truly enjoyed those 5 years very much. I think you have an extremely tough job, and you have very hard work. But our mission, your mission, in educating the students is so important. I am, again, so glad to have you as our first guest. So we really seen each other for 4 months.
I know.
So that's been crazy. And I know today was a beautiful day, but we've had some hard times over the months in many ways. But the first question, and I want to once again introduce our superintendent in Peoria Public Schools, and Dr. Desmoulin-Kherat has been in our school district for 5 years. So we are very appreciative of your leadership and everything you do for our public schools, our staff, our families, and most importantly, our students.
I appreciate you, Cindy, and thank you very much. Actually, I've been with the district since 1998 and spent some time at Roosevelt. I was a principal at Whittier, remember, for over 7 years, Blue Ribbon School, and principal of Manual High School for 3 years. Experienced some of the districts for 4 years, 2 years in Springfield, 2 years in Danville, was asked to come back, and so I've spent over 20 years with the district. And I wanted to say, as you said, yes, we have been working together for about 5 years, and it's a lot of work, but it's good work. And we just really enjoy you because you always make us happy. You take care of us, and the kids and the staff. I mean, the foundation's role is really to bring in supplemental funds to provide classroom teachers with grants so that they can innovate. And you do a lot. You have that emergency fund. I think you guys gave out, the last I checked was over 6,000 dollars to help them with rent and food, especially during COVID. So you are also very inspirational to us, you and your staff, Jen and Trish and everybody else that's with you. So thank you for just being, the wind underneath our wings, and you're always saying, keep going, guys, and you're always there for us. So thank you. Sometimes you'll bring treats for us and food, and that goes a long way. So thanks.
Well, thank you for thanking us. We have a very, very good team. All of our hearts are in this for the right reasons, and I'm very thankful for an amazing foundation board. They're all great community people, and we're all on the same page as far as providing the best experiences and opportunities for our kids. So yes, thank you for saying that. And I actually, when I started in 2009, you were the principal at Manual, and I thought, because this was back like very long ago, but wow, you were just an awesome principal at Manual. And we have a fund, and I know that you had requested some money from it for Manual, but I remember back then thinking, she's going so far in like so many places. So it's been good.
Yeah, Manual, that was a very, very tough job, and one of my favorite jobs. We worked nonstop, and remember we had you had to reorganize the school and restructure the school, the restructuring, the school improvement grant, and boy, that was a lot of work, but it was good work again, and just a great group of teachers and kids, and it took a while. It took a good 2 years to get into the rhythm, and I felt bad for the kids because half of the teachers were brand new, the entire administration brand new. They didn't, so that was tough, and from time to time they rebelled, and we started off, rocky, but it ended up being beautiful in the end. I'll never forget that experience.
Yeah. Well, we kind of have a little bit of a format, some questions, and we can, kind of go from there. But and I have to thank Trish helped me with some of these together, and Jen's been amazing to get this whole thing set up too. But first question is reflection of the last school year and the pivot to home learning, and that's mostly because of the pandemic. Talk a little bit on that.
Yeah, so who would have predicted, right, that Pura Public Schools would have to redesign our instructional delivery to remote, from in-person to remote, like on the fly, and then broadcast virtual graduations. And I felt really bad about that. Wanted the kids to get everything that they would have gotten in person, just that we had to do it virtually, and I'm really, really pleased with that secondary option. And that was viewed by 50,000 people. So that was pretty awesome. The kids got to speak, and they had their videos, and each of them were featured. And so that was very, very nice. And then we distributed over 300,000 meals. And because of COVID, remember March 13th, we got a heads up. That was a Friday that, there probably will not be school like we know it's the following week. And so I made an announcement, told the kids, had the principals tell their kids to take their books home and take all of their supplies home. And so everybody, we were like, oh my goodness, what's going on? We didn't know what was happening. And so, yeah, we just pivoted to that and ended up with 4 priorities. Priority 1, feeding the kids. And we've had over 21 distribution sites, lots of volunteers working with Salvation Army, Sodexo. That took a lot of work to build that. I remember on the 14th, we found, actually the 15th, we found it on the 13th. Then we had the Saturday, the Sunday, I had to go to Springfield. I came back that Sunday. We met in our boardroom, and I had a number of individuals, and we just planned out how we're going to feed our children. And then priority 2 had to do with the wellness, social, emotional, making sure that with all that stuff going on, we're still checking in with not only staff, but students. Priority 3, regular communication, because I mean, it's a shock to everybody, students, community, staff, families. And so did that regularly. And then priority 4, the continuity of education, which took us to the being aware that we do have a digital divide, and asking families who needed what and what they needed, connectivity and computers, and home delivered over 6,000 devices to homes and helped over 200 families sort out that connectivity piece and worked with them. And then just really having individuals do home visits, because some kids really thought in March that they were on, they were on break and they were in summer break, and we're like, okay, because they were thinking the buildings are closed. So one of our motto, we said the buildings are closed, but learning continues. And that just took, one after the star, and making a difference with each one, and going out, and so yeah, that's how we did it, and just really proud of that transition. I think we did it with in as cohesive of a manner as possible, but very collectively. I mean, I have a strong team. The curriculum team is strong. The HR team is strong. Buildings and grounds strong. Finance strong. We ended up creating a wellness committee. And so we had daily inspiration, regular inspiration that we piped through. That committee piped, and it made up of teachers. I'm Bon, Andrew, Eddie Elliott, they all ran that. And there were lots of others behind the scenes, just kind of cheering us on and uplifting us. So that went very, very, very well. So we will not forget COVID for sure. I know a graduation, the class of 2020, I saw one plaque that said, "This is the class that shut down the world."
Well, and you did touch on it a little bit, but the district commitment to social emotional health of students and staff.
That's huge.
Really good about putting a lot into that and out.
Yeah, and you have been very supportive with that department also. I know Lynn Fair and Coach Booth, when their families in need, if they're, they're at the last resort, and they're going to be taken away from their homes, they'll come to you, and you'll provide funds to assist with either rent or that sort of thing. So yeah, I was looking at Coach Booth's wraparound stats, and through March they fed over 4,000 people food through the food pantry. There's a food pantry there, and then close to 500 families were served, because the wraparound is kind of like a one-stop shop. So there's probation there. So students who are in probation, they can, instead of having to go to the courthouse, which they usually didn't make it, whether it's transportation or whatever, they can just walk over to, and the wraparound center is located there's a wing that we've designated at Tree Wind, redesigned, retrofitted that area for that specific purpose. So we have chestnuts there, we have financial planning, financial counseling there. There's we have therapists there. We have different there's OSF Unity Point. So we have a number, 8 to 10 organizations that provide services through the wraparound center. And we also have the respite program. So if kids are suspended and parents still have to work, they can go to that school and they're fed, and they still get to do their homework and that sort of thing, still get that support. So just, we have to be conscientious of providing those safety nets and those supports that our families need, because we have a lot of there's need. The good thing about Pure Public School is it's like sort of a it's a spectrum, and we have all sorts of an eclectic array of families, and some are well off and some are very, very needy, and I like as a district that we just sort of get together and provide to those who are in need. So that makes me feel very, very good, and that's the work that you do also with your foundation. So thank you again.
Yeah, and we are going to, we're kind of thinking out of the box in different ways that we can connect people into the community, and ways I know with continued food insecurity with our families. And I know you've done a lot with getting the technology in their hand, and we're going to try to help additionally in those ways, and we're out there writing grants for more support with rent and utilities and the food, and so we're going to hopefully add some additional support into what you're already doing. This is 3 full months into it, and I find that the first month was kind of a shock to everyone, and I often think about our kiddos, our school district kiddos, and I think about how we personally handle this change in our lives, and wanted to know, I know you're a very health conscious person, you always have been, you eat healthy, you exercise. Has there been any change with that? Because this is a big adjustment in everyone's lives, the well-being, the well-being of lives and families, and how have you done throughout this time personally, like with your health goals and stuff like that?
Yeah, thanks for asking. I think I'm doing well. The last 2 days, Monday and Tuesday, remember the weather was a little. Yesterday's weather was really interesting. It seems like we had everything, all types of weather except snow.
Right, yeah.
And hail. But yeah. I did get a chance to, I enjoy walking, and I did get a chance to walk because I was not able to get walk on Monday and Tuesday. And I've set some goals for myself, daily goals regarding steps. I would like to get at least 10,000 steps a day, and I was not able to do that on Monday or Tuesday. And I'm like, I was lamenting, 3 days and I need to walk. So I saw the sun peaked out at about 7:30. And so my son says, yeah, you can do it, Mom, go ahead. And the sun sets at 8:30. So you have 1 hour, and it worked out very well. So I was happy about that. And actually I knew we were meeting today. So I left work at 4:30 and walked quickly, and to get back in time so that we can, because I'm behind my goals for the week. So, but it will be okay. I think I'll catch up. But that makes me feel very good. It relaxes. I'm able to rejuvenate. I'm able to generate lots of new questions and actually great ideas while I'm doing that. And while I'm doing that, I'm listening to my favorite songs. So that makes me feel very, very good. So it doesn't take a lot, to kind of make me happy. And so that I'm really happy when I'm able to walk and listen to my favorite songs, even if it's for 1 hour.
That's good. That I was really working on my health journey, and kind of, when I hit 52 and all that, or 50, I decided to make work hard. And then so when this hit, it was like, oh, wow, what am I going to do? I'm home. But I did buy a bike almost immediately. And that's kind of been my health goal, is to get out on the bike a lot. And I'm actually doing really well. And I can do I did 14 miles on Saturday. I'm not sprinting, but it's just good cardiovascular exercise for me. And I've been doing really well with it. So that's what I've been doing.
That's great. 14
Yeah.
miles, that's good. I mean, if I get 3 miles in per day, that's, I'm happy. So that's
Yeah.
pretty impressive. And the good thing about my schedule, really, it has not changed because I still come to work every day. I've sort of maintained the same schedule that I've had throughout.
Right.
The majority of my staff are working from home. And so I have the luxury of coming in and just going straight to my office and getting on the computer and it's teams after teams after teams or Zoom after Zoom after Zoom. So I'm still on the same schedule. I'm more productive at work. I really don't like working from home. I guess I could have done this, this at home, but I just feel much more comfortable when I'm at work. I'm not in the refrigerator. I'm not upstairs. I'm very, very focused. And so I've been fortunate that my schedule, I've not veered from it for the 5 years that I've been here.
Yeah. Would you say that, in your personal time, because I know you work very long hours, you always have, you're very, you work long, hard hours, but the last 3 months, would you say you've any new books or watched any TV series? That's what people are talking about out there. Have you done anything like that?
Yeah, so I've been making the HR staff, they do come in, and so I've been experimenting with banana cakes. I wish you were there, banana bread, actually, and you're really good at that too. You make some great ones. So I've baked about 3 or 4, and I'll bring it in. I'll bake it on a Sunday, and I'll bring it in on a Monday, and then it's all gone. So they're happy about that. So I never thought I would do that. So that's been fun, especially, they're really happy and they're like, wow, that was very, very tasty. So I had these bananas and they were just kind of, not as pretty as they used to be. So they're getting old. So I had to either throw them away or do something. And so, so I've been surprising myself with that. I've read a couple of books. I have every Thursday this group called Sam's. It's the Sam's series that I'm part of, and they put on some really like 20 minutes webinars on leading change, on wellness. And I've actually invited teachers, all of our teachers and our principals. I say, hey, this is a great topic if you have a chance. And a number of them, I get on and I see a number of Peoria, people from individual staff members from Peoria Public Schools, and folks are from all over the United States, New York, all over. And so it's good to see. And usually you can request a book for that topic, and I'll sign up and I'll get the book. So one time they sent about 12 books, and I'll skim through them, read them, and I took about 5 to Glen Oak, and I have some primarily for our new principals. And so I probably have about 12 more that I need to go through, and then I sort of pass them on. And then I've watched a couple of Netflix. I watched something about Usain Bolt. He's a runner from Jamaica, so I like autobiographies and comedy. I like comedy also, and I'm a sports person, but there's sports is on the back burner for the time being. And I'll watch the news also. I enjoy the news. I didn't like the protests. After a while, I got a big headache because it was just violence. I didn't like seeing the rubber bullets and the tear gas and the blood and and the violence and the looting. And so I just kind of shut that down. But by the time work takes a lot of, work is actually 24/7. The emails are unbelievable. If I have to literally respond immediately, otherwise I'll have a backlog of emails.
Yeah.
And I do like to respond, to families and to whomever. So, just trying to balance between taking care of that and taking care of staff, responding to staff, planning different things, baking, listening to music. We can't travel much, so I mean, I'm kind of stuck right now. We were not able to do spring break. I had about 5 trips planned, whether they were business trips or vacation, and so all of those were canceled. But like everybody else, but I mean, it's okay. It is what it is, and we have to make the best out of it. And I think you take the lemons and you make some beautiful lemonade, and I'm not sad, I'm not disappointed. And it's like, and we do with our team, we say we're not going to be defeated. And so everybody's just really enthusiastic. And I just like the fact that we're all on the same page, and we're all happy. I'm happy they're able to work from home also, and they're very, very productive. And so, yeah, it's good.
Yeah. I think is I probably got away from cooking. I've always been a baker, but I've cooked the first 2 months. I cooked more than I've cooked forever. Like, I was cooking every meal, and I've always known I'm a great baker, but I never thought of myself as a good cook. But I think I'm a lot better cook since I've been doing it for 2 months straight. And the other thing is I am a movie person, so I've been watching a lot of movies, and I find myself in a nostalgic state watching older movies, like in the 80s kind of movies. And but I am interested in trying, because I am an award-winning baker, I'm interested in trying this banana bread that you've made. So I'll have to come and get samples soon.
Okay, and the interesting thing is every time I make it, I'll try, like I will adjust the recipe. So the last time I ran out of white milk, I think my son drank all of the milk, but we had some pink milkshake. And so instead of the white milk, I used the milkshake, and it turned out very well. So I tried doing different things, but the last 2 came out very, very fluffy, because what I found out is you can put the oven for, I think, 325 degrees for an hour and 10 minutes. And then, so it's not overcooked, and that works very well. So the time, I think I have the time down. Yeah, but you're an amazing baker. This is many of you.
And baking and cooking is chemistry, and I've done some really great baking, but once in a while you have a flop or whatever. It looks not great but tastes great, so it's okay.
And I do a lot of comedy. I love comedy because I don't like, drama and that sort of thing. So after a long day and walking, I love to be entertained. So I spend a lot of time watching various comedies. So instead of movies, I will pull up a comedy.
Okay, good. Yeah, it is definitely good to laugh. So, let's see here. So this is a kind of a broad topic here, but summer and fall 2020 plans.
Yeah, there's actually a nice spread in the Journal Star on front page today.
I can see that.
And this is the thing. We've put in. I actually commissioned a team. A committee. It's called the Return to School Committee, and there've been quite a bit of people involved. I would say over 30, lots of subcommittees, like an HR, a curriculum, a wellness committee, a technology committee, a finance committee, and so forth. And lots of work. We are going to have a special board meeting on Monday, the 22nd at 6:30 to continue to share the plan with the board and with the public. We had a district PTO meeting last night. We have our district PTO, and they're the presidents and the vice presidents of the PTO at each school, and we Thomas and I meet with them regularly, and we kind of give them updates, and they provide feedback. So we shared the plan with them, and that was recorded, and then that conversation was shared with the entire community, Pierre Public Schools community, along with the notes for additional feedback. So we're getting feedback, and so yeah, from the very beginning, Cindy, we talked about, you know, it will be a combination, like choice. One of the things I will say is it's my belief that the American education system is not going to be, it's never going to be the same that we're used to, right? It's not going to be the same. So this is a time to reimagine. So and all that we're doing, it could be for naught, because the state, Illinois State Board of Education, and the governor can say, hey, we don't have a vaccine, we don't have medication, we're seeing I'm just making it up, right? Hypothetically. And so we want all the schools to continue remote. So we don't know what's going to happen. This plan is just a tentative draft. If we're given the green lights, and if we move to phase 4, I think under phase 4, schools will be allowed to be opened. Although, you have the max of 50 or less, but there's some exceptions for schools. And if that happens, then we're looking at what we call a hybrid model. So that's what we're having conversations about, because we did survey of families and kind of get a sense for their thoughts. Will they come back? Are they ready? And I'll tell you, for us overall, the majority of us do believe we do want to open schools, for sure. We think that interaction is very, very positive towards that learning outcome, and to augmenting the relationships, to augmenting, encouraging, motivating, developing relationships to improve, right? Improve student achievement. And so the face-to-face cannot be replaced. But we also have to kind of, someone asked the governor, I think yesterday or 2 days ago, and he said, yeah, I know everybody wants to get back to school, and teachers want to get back, kids want to get back, parents want the kids to get back. But we're looking at the science, we're looking at the data, and then they will provide guidance for us. But we're not waiting for them. We have our plan together, and so if they say, yep, we can go ahead and do what's best, and there'll be local control to a certain extent. We are ready to pull the trigger and try something. And you probably heard about the A Day, B Day, maybe a Monday, Wednesday for half. So half of the kids would come for 2 days, and the other half would come the Tuesday, Thursday, and then the Friday would be PD for teachers, and then online for kids and stuff like that. So just being creative. But the devil is in the details, and the team, we're working on the details, and it's a lot. I mean, transportation will be a challenge. You could only have 10 kids on a bus, 1 kid per seat. So a bus with a capacity of normally 70, 75, 77. That is, and it's going to be very expensive, because we've just purchased 60 thermometers, the ones that are, like, they call them the gun, you can just shoot, so it's kind of touchless, so that buildings will be equipped with that. We're stockpiling on a variety of things already. We have a number of masks, although we'll probably include that on the supply list. Hand sanitizers for classrooms, the operations, the buildings and grounds, the operation team, a lot of work around cleaning of, the cleansing of the sanitizing of the buildings, the classrooms, the buses. So it's a lot. And Valeska, right around the corner, they are, they're in a balanced calendar. So they're scheduled to be open on the 22nd, which is like right around the corner. So we are going to, and I would love to see, that we, a request to me was, can we postpone and I'm like, let's plan and try to keep everything as normal as possible. And we know it's not going to be, but we're definitely going to try for sure. Knowing that some families also are a little bit hesitant and tentative and coy about coming out full force. And I understand that. I respect that. And we'll have that remote. I feel really good about the remote. We can improve on that. And so, you're flying the plane and you're building it. And just like that COVID-19, people would, we're still learning about it. And so this is definitely an opportunity for us to experiment, reimagine, and take our profession to the next level, because it's sort of been in a dormant stage for over 100 years, if you ask me.
Mm-hmm. There's a few comments I just want to share with you. I know you know some of these teachers. Julie Haberek Jenkins says, "Thank you for all you do for all of us, Dr. Kherat."
Yeah, tell them thank you. And I have to say to our teachers, I mean, they were the ones who made that remote experience work for kids. When I hear from parents, they're talking about the teachers and what the teachers have done for their kids, how the teachers have gone above and beyond, how the teachers have, many of the teachers, in addition to teaching, did home visits. They were part of the device distribution team. They were part of the food distribution team. We have some families where they're not able to go to the sites because they're high risk. Either the families are high risk, the kids are high risk, and those teachers have made it, so it's just amazing. I've sat in on some of the classrooms, and it just warms your heart, and you want to give them a big hug. But I mean, they're the stars, and we're just working behind the scenes for them and for the kids. Right. And so, yeah, I mean, they inspire me. So so I appreciate that. And we're just working hard for them.
Sheila Stewart says hi. Lisa Barr says hi.
Yeah, I love them all.
I ran into a teacher this morning, and she was on the bike trail. Do you ever go to the Rock Island Trail, Dr. Kherat? Oh my God.
I need to do that with you. I've always wanted to do it.
It's amazing. It's such an asset for our community. I've been really hitting it hard.
Can I ride with you sometime?
Yes, yes. If you don't have a bike, you can use Taylor's. It is like beautiful. And it's, you can go, I mean, I go 8 miles out north, and then, you go back. So it's double the miles. But, it's, a matter of fact, Saturday I saw Mayor Artis. I saw quite a few people I knew. He was riding his bike. But I just, you run into people out on the trail, and it's such a great asset. But we definitely need to do that in the next few weeks.
Yeah, I'm serious about that. I know the mayor, we were at a meeting this morning early, and he piped in about 15 minutes late because he was doing some St. Jude work. And, he's a St. Jude runner also, so I'm not surprised. That's great. I didn't want to do the trails by myself, so I didn't realize you. I will definitely follow up with you.
Absolutely, yeah, it's awesome. And you'll be amazed how beautiful it is. It's just a beautiful trail, and it's just they've done such a great job with it. But
awesome. I love the outdoors, and I walk at Detweiler, and that's where it's so peaceful and so beautiful. So I know I'll love it. I'll just come by the house, park, and then I'll take Taylor's bike, because my son says, "Mom, what happened to our bikes?" And we think his dad put it out in the garbage when we were gone, because he says those are over 20 years old. You guys need. We were looking for them, and they disappeared. So
how is Waleed? How's he doing? How's he been doing with all this?
Yeah, he's doing well. He's home, and actually he just he's going to Ole Miss, and got a place there, so he was there for the weekend. So he's very excited. He's going to do that dietetic sports nutrition program for 2 years, and they've gotten him in a program there. They're really impressed with him. I'm proud of him. He's actually looking for a job.
Yeah.
So he's like, can I work for Pierre Public Schools? I'm like, no, you can't. You'll have to find a job somewhere else.
Yeah.
So, but he's doing very well. I'm very, very proud of him. And so, yeah, he graduated from Bradley, as you know. And so he is this on May 16th, just like Pure Public School students. And they did not have a ceremony. So I ended up giving him his diploma, and we had fun taking pictures. It was really a nice day that day, busy day. And so I'm excited for him for the next chapter. And he's very, very excited about that.
Yeah. And, you know, I was thinking, I don't know if you saw, it was in the paper the other day, and the one very sad part about, you know, this the COVID, and you know, there are a lot of businesses closing, and you know, families deeply affected financially.
Yes.
But I, you know, last time I think I was at a family birthday party and saw you at the Sky Harbor. Did you see their closing?
I was so sad about that yesterday. That's my favorite restaurant, Walid's, and
Yeah.
I'll take Dr. Ali. We go there all the time. They're the only place they always do for me a baked catfish. I get a baked catfish with string beans and lettuce and grilled onions. And sometimes late, if I'm here late at work, I will call it in, and it's waiting for me. They know who I am. I pop in, I pick it up, and I just continue. I take Kerner Road, right? And then I just come on up to Charter Oak, and I'm very, very sad about that. I read that they've had the business for over 40 years. I didn't realize they had the lariat too, and they sold that. Yeah, that was, I read that in the paper, I think yesterday. I love the mom. I was always impressed with her. She she always was really very nicely dressed. Her hair was done, and but they said they're up there in age, and I read he said he had Parkinson's, and so
maybe someone will be able to buy it, but I mean, that is the very sad part about this, our economy, when this hit was doing, you know, well, and then, you know, it just makes me so sad to think of, you know, restaurants and businesses and families closing. Have you heard from a lot of families or parents that are, like, you know, losing their jobs because of this, or like, are you hearing a lot from our families and stuff in the school district?
Yeah, there's some support for, but it's actually slated to even get worse, and so I'm hoping that we follow the social distancing, we wear a mask, so that our numbers, we can continue to progress along the phases, so that we can reopen and fully open, and people can get back to work. But yeah, I mean, you've seen some, yes. And I anticipate probably our free and reduced, it's at 75 right now percent. I anticipate that it will probably increase, maybe, significantly. And, anything 5% or higher is considered significant. So we'll wait and see. Yeah, a lot of people are suffering for sure. They've lost their jobs. There's some support, but it's definitely temporary. We try to support the restaurants, by carrying out. During COVID, Walid spent a lot of time doing DoorDash, helping that way, and he really enjoyed doing that. And he said they were paying well, and now I think he said not so much, because I think people are, things are opening up, and so, yeah. But I mean, we just have to keep plugging away and follow the guidelines so that we can be opened as a state completely. And they're saying we're never going to get back to 100% normal as we've known it. Right. But some semblance will be helpful, because the economy needs needs a boost for sure. And that's the purpose of that. I don't know if you read in the paper. We received the grants to provide.
Yes. Oh, that's great for the kids.
For the kids, and it's twofold, you know, to put money in their pockets, but also to provide a boost to the economy. So if there are any businesses out there listening and they're looking for kids and they're struggling and they don't have money to pay employees, just call us and we will provide workers to you. And they won't have to come out of your, you know, your payroll. It will be through the grant. I think 400,000 of that money will just go straight to, you know, to payroll.
And that grant written by Senator Kaler and Representative John Gordon Booth. And then was Lorraine or Tri-County Urban League? Was it just the district all collaborating on that?
Yeah, so we wrote it. We worked very closely with Representative Gordon Booth, and of course, Senator Kaler is always very, very supportive. And so Susan and Carla and myself actually wrote it. I pulled in the Urban League because when I graduated from Bradley, my first job was through the Urban League, and I ran the summer program. So I mirrored that program after what I did at the Urban League. And so I know the Urban League. I know their work. Ms. Bryson is one of my mentors. I worked for her. And so what I ended up doing was giving them, because our students are not 20, the grant goes from 16 to 24. So I pulled her in and I said, okay, you can have the older kids, right? And I will give them a little bit more money, $13 an hour. And I know they know how to do that because that's where I learned, right, that work. And so it was a beautiful collaboration. And she talked about the history, and I pulled in Gary Moore because he was working on some projects with us, and he has been asking to do some things with kids around Black history and career exploration. So I called the people and I said, does that fit into the grant? And they said yes. So it was a nice opportunity for him also to do some fun things with some kids, and they'll get paid also. And so it was a beautiful collaboration. Ms. Bryson talked about, you know, the Urban League starting that summer youth employment program in 1967, and they used to serve over 700 students. And when I ran the program for them at the Urban League, it was, and she mentioned it, that's why it's called Tri-County, because not only did we serve Peoria County, we served Tazewell County and Woodford County. And that was through Private Industry Council and the Job Training Partnership Act years and years and years and years ago, federal funds that came through. So they're all expert in the field and just collaborating. And I thought, you know, the press conference went very, very well. And for us, it's about opportunities for kids and keeping them off the street. And, you know, when I was growing up, my grandparents just always say the devil finds work for idle hands. And so we don't want their hands to be idle. We want them to be engaged in some positive experiences, authentic experiences, because everybody at that press conference, Ms. Kostick was there, one of our board members. She got her first start at the Urban League. Ms. Bryson got her first start at the Urban League. Representative Gordon Booth, her mother, and I ran that program because there were two components, the work component and the academic component. And her mom was the director of employment at the Urban League, and I was the director of education. And so both of us collaborated. So she has a long history as far as that's concerned. Gary Moore got his start from there, his first job through the summer program at the Urban League. And some of the success coaches, there were 3 or 4 of them who said that's where they received their first job, and it planted, you know, ideas, and it exposed them to. So yeah, it was fantastic to see. And that program, the Urban League ran, the summer program, it has been, oh gosh, maybe 20 years since it's been funded.
Yeah.
So there's just been a huge gap. So, I mean, 200, that's a small number. And they told us 100. They told us 100, and I pushed it a little bit, push. We
Yeah.
got 220, and the 20 is Gary's that I kind of pulled in at the last minute. So we ended up with 220, but there's a capacity. I would love to see us serving about 1,000 young people and exposing them, because for PR Public Schools, we were right, before we were talking a lot about reimagining, doing a lot of based learning, a lot around pathways, a lot around authentic experiences for kids, a lot around competencies. Ms. Stewart, who's listening, she was a huge part of that. And so this is all, it fits in perfectly with where we're heading.
That's incredible that you got that grant, and it's going to be so good for those kids. And I have to say that Lorraine Bryson, she's always been a personal inspiration of mine. When I started, she was actually on the foundation board, and she just, it was real conversations with her that, she just, and I know she's a big inspiration and mentor to you as well. So
yeah, and I don't know if you remember her at the press conference. She said she got her first job through the summer program, youth program, similar to this one, through the urban. And then her job was she was placed, I think, at a daycare at Carver Center. And as a result of that, she pursued a degree in education. She was a teacher. She taught at Harrison and some other buildings. And then she transitioned and went to law school and became an attorney. Ended up working at ICC, and now, she's been at the Urban League for over 20 years. So, but it all started with that summer job.
Yeah. Well, did you have anything that, apart from kind of the topics we were talking about, anything else you'd like to kind of say out there? Or, I mean, we always communicate, and you always know that we're trying to think of ways to help, and we're always here, and we're going to, like I said, try to work on some new things for the summer and the fall. But is there anything else that you'd like to kind of put out there or talk about?
Yeah, I just really, wanting to thank everyone for collaborating, sharing of ideas, willing to take the journey. We've really had. I actually, for the last 3 months, I cannot recall any disagreements or issues. People were just, yes, this is going to be some work, but we're on board, and let us know what we can do. And even our teachers, that first week when they were planning, 2,000 teachers were trained in like 3 days on the remote learning platform with Lisa Coca's and Dr. Wilson's team. That was pretty impressive. So I like the collaboration. I would like us to continue the collaboration. If there are any beautiful ideas out there, just send an email to me, send an email to us. If there are glitches, if there are things that we're overlooking, obviously we don't have all the answers, and we are open to ideas. But it's really for our kids, and I'm excited about the fall, because I'm concerned about the learning loss, and but we'll see what happens. We still have a lot of other sort of people ahead of us, above us, that we have to get the green light from. But whenever that comes down, we will be ready, because we have a variety of plans. We have a plan A, we have a plan B, we have a plan C, so we're ready. And just wanted to thank everyone for their ongoing support and encouragement.
Next week, we're going to have the outgoing Board of Education student reps. So we have a confirmation from Hope, and we're still trying to reach the other two, the Manual and the Peoria High student. But we're really excited to talk to them too, and kind of, the same thing, what did they get out of Peoria Public Schools, which we know a lot. That experience being on the board, and then what they've been doing over the last 3 months. So we're excited about having them next Thursday. Following Thursday, we're having Dan Adler, which I know you're sad, and we are too. He's been a very, very good friend to the Peoria Public Schools Foundation as a ex officio board member. And I've thoroughly enjoyed working with him over the 5 years he's served on the board. So he'll be on. And I know you'll be sad to see him leave. He's worked very hard.
Yeah, very. Actually, we usually have President Adler, Vice President Shaw, myself, and I'll usually invite a couple of key staff members, depending on what's on the top, what's on the agenda. We usually have joint meetings with the city. So it's the mayor, the city manager, and 2 council representatives. Normally it's Representative Riggenbach and Representative Sid Rockriegel. And so today we had a meeting. We went through all of our agenda items. It was actually a very, very good meeting. We talked about everything from TIF to sidewalks to the diet on Mount Sanders to the return to school. There were lots of conversation about that, childcare and maybe how the city can assist. Trying to think off the top of my head the big items. But at the very end, Councilman Riggenbach said, President Adler, this is actually your last meeting with us. And I'm happy he mentioned it and he remembered it, and he was right. And then everyone from the mayor to the city manager, everyone just chimed in and talked about things like collaborative, a unifier, a problem solver. I added very fair. We've never, in our 5 years, because I think we came on together, never had really a disagreement at all. I mean, we may, I'll give the information and so forth, and we may not be like in agreement, but it's always respectfully and so I just liked how he always did his due diligence. He understood. He knows he understands. Although he's an engineer, he understands what it takes. I mean, and the daily grind and appreciates the work of staff and realizes that this thing is not easy. A lot of these business people think, oh, do this, or you're missing this, you're missing that. You didn't do that. And there's there are like millions of pieces. And so he gets that. He understands the achievement piece. I mean, when people talk about, well, you're not, you guys are not where, for example, this other district nearby, the Dunlap or Morton, and in fact, how when an analysis is done and you factor in for this factor and that factor and that factor, after all, there's amazing progress being made. And I just really appreciated a different perspective. And he'll do his own analysis. He'll do his own analysis on test scores, and he'll get the data from the website, and he'll whatever he needs, and he'll have his graphs and just the fact that very well prepared, and the communication piece is very, very important. And again, like being able to not create controversy because the work is so difficult. You don't want to spend, expend your energy on negative things, but
right.
Save that energy on positive things. So those were all those traits I really appreciated, and we really complimented each other. And as a result, we got a lot done.
Yes.
And a lot of what I've accomplished, it's because of him.
Mhm.
Starting with when I got back, and Andrea Tutora, the facility sales tax, I did my part. There's a part I couldn't do. I couldn't go out to the homes. I couldn't campaign. I couldn't, but I mean, and I felt really bad about that. I'm like, hey, is there something I can do to help? He says, no, we got it, Doc. We'll get some parents on Saturdays after work, blah, 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 blah. And they canvassed and so we just worked very, very well together, and as a result of that, accomplished a lot for our families and our community. And see, when you have a board that is focused and they're focused on the right things, and he understood his role also, and they're very supportive and complimentary, then we're able to, and it's a best practice, we're able to focus on the right work. And I appreciated, the tranquility and the peace, because this work is so difficult. You don't want what I call self-fulfilling pain and drama because it slows us down. Actually, I wrote a book about that, regarding, when you have a very focused, stable board, you tend to, it really does have a positive impact on student achievement. And it's true. I mean, it's just common sense, right?
Right. Well, I've really enjoyed this hour with you, and thank you so much once again. You're an excellent superintendent. I've really enjoyed working with you. I know the foundation board fully supports you and everything the school district's doing. You know that for us, it's all about the kids, and it's, people say that, but that we believe it. And just let us know what else we can do. And I do have, on my last chat, I had a special guest at the very end, and I have little Oda, and you've met Oda before.
Many, many, many times. She has grown. She's grown.
So little Oda is 3.5 years old, and she's really enjoyed the last 3 months because she's had a lot of time with me. So, but yeah, Dr. Kherat got to meet her a few times, and she's a little sweetheart, but
she's adorable. And you've made my day, because I just learned that we can go bike riding together in the trails.
Do you have plans on Saturday morning? We're gonna get lots of people there.
Yeah, let's do that Saturday.
Saturday morning is great. We'll see people, but you're gonna love it. So
okay, I'll follow up with you.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, thank you everyone for tuning in. This will be on the Facebook Live feed. So thank you, and I hope you have a good evening.
Peace and love. Thank you, and same to you. Bye-bye.
And please join us next week for Student Board of Education members. So they're graduates as seniors going off to college, but we're very excited about them joining us next week.